All right. Go for it.
Okay, good evening everyone and welcome to our special New Zealand, I think it's actually our first New Zealand biohacking information session. My name is Bridget Bright and I'm so excited to be introducing you to my very good friend and amazing business partner Tori Mackle, who is based in Gisborne. Tori is a mum of 2, soon to be 3 children, and she is a physiotherapist. That is her background. She has over 10 years experience between New Zealand, UK and Australia as a physiotherapist. And in that time, she has seen over and over again the direct impacts that oxidative stress has on our health and on our families, as she has treated many, many people suffering from chronic disease. And so this is what has led Tori down this path towards becoming so passionate about educating and working with others to become proactive about our health and wellness as we age. So she has a wealth of knowledge and she is able to explain biohacking and oxidative stress in a way that is so easy for everybody to understand, and also how we can easily and naturally protect our health from oxidative stress. So I'm really, really excited for you all to learn from Tori about all of that. So if you have any questions along the way, please just take note of them and hold on to the end. We'll unmute you all and give you a chance to ask questions at the end. I'm sorry about my Ashton. Or otherwise, if you can't hold on until the end, get back in touch with the person that invited you on to this presentation. So we usually take about 30 to 40 minutes, just taking you through the science, the breakthrough and category creating products new to New Zealand, which we are so passionate about. So I'd love for Tori to take over now and share this with all of you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bridget. All right, guys. So as you can see, this is about biohacking, right? So taking control of your own biology. You might have heard of biohacking, you might not have, but it really is the next generation in wellness. It's really exciting that we can bring this to New Zealand. And like I said, we're very, very lucky to have this here because it is something very new that not a lot of people have heard of yet, but it is something that we're going to hear more and more about over the coming years. So let's get into it. So I'll just talk a little bit about me. So thank you, Bridget, for the introduction. Yes, I am Tori. I am now in New Zealand. I just moved back to New Zealand about 6 months ago from Australia. So I've been sharing this information for a little while now in Australia, and like I said, really excited to bring it to New Zealand. So yes, I'm a physiotherapist. I've been a physio for 10 years. This is really, like Bridget said, where I see so much chronic disease. Basically in my job, I work in mostly in the hospital, in the community, and I work with people who are managing symptoms of chronic disease. And I guess in my own personal life, I'm very proactive and I have a very proactive approach to my health because I guess I see what it's like and how it affects people's quality of life. And I know that there are changes that can be made earlier on that can really help them to live a more comfortable, healthy, happy life without having to deal with all of the problems of chronic disease. So that's why I'm really passionate about this, about health. Basically, my story of how I got into this was that I was actually looking for a solution for some people in my family who have chronic health problems. Generally, I'm not really a supplement person. I believe that our body, given what it needs, has everything, that it needs to function really well. So I didn't look at this first. I didn't probably take the time to look at it. But when I did, I realized that is exactly what it is. It's not a supplement. It's not giving our body something that it's missing. It's actually giving our body what it needs to function really well using its own biology. So very, very exciting research. If you're someone that has a background in health, I'm sure some of the research that we go into a little bit will really, really interest you. So personally, I was also struggling with low energy, brain fog. I was a mum of 2 when I was introduced to this, and I am about to be a mum of 3. And I was addicted to coffee and all of the things that, you know, we think are normal as a mum. And I started activating my body using this biohacking and nutrigenomics that I'm going to talk to you about, and the change was amazing. So much more energy, so much clearer in my thinking, and it had a huge impact on then, you know, my family and how smoothly things ran in our home. So that's enough about me. Now, hijacking versus biohacking. So this is where we kind of get into a little bit of the background about why this is so important for us right now. What's happening when we hear about being hijacked? Basically, it's something's taking over, right? Using it for destructive purposes. So what's happening in the environment now and in our lives and our modern society is that our bodies are having to deal with so much more than what they used to deal with, right? So physically, we have more sedentary lifestyles, or even if maybe it's actually an athlete, maybe you do a lot of exercise and that's actually very hard on the body too. So emotionally, there's so much stress, financial stress, pressure on people, biochemically, the toxic load is crazy. So cell phones, Wi-Fi, microwaves, all of these things that we don't realize are actually affecting our bodies at a cellular level, and that's basically our bodies being hijacked by these toxins, right? And so what we do with biohacking is actually you're manipulating your physiology. You're taking control of your biology so that you can optimize your health and how your systems work in your body, right? And that's where nutrigenomics comes in. So that's the research of how nutrients and natural compounds affect our genes and how our genes are actually expressed. So a lot of the time, you know, you might hear, oh, that's in my genes, it's in my family history, I'm going to get it anyway. But actually what they've discovered is that that's not true at all. It's actually our lifestyle and how we look after our body that actually will mean whether those genes are expressed or not. So we actually do have control. We can do something about it. And that's why this research is really exciting. All right, so as far as LifeVantage as a company, where this all started, so some of you might have seen the ABC investigative news report. If you haven't, get in touch with the person who invited you and they can share it with you. So basically, in that report, this guy, John Kionis, he actually proves that what happens with this NRF2 activator is it actually does what it says it does, right? It reduces oxidative stress by a lot more than what the company even claimed. So all of these people that saw this report were absolutely, you know, blown away by the research and what he proved on this show, which is generally to disprove things, right? So it had the opposite effect. And what happened was there was over $5 million of orders came into this little company, and it was a small biotech company back then. There was no infrastructure, sales team, so all of these sales went unfulfilled. So lots and lots of interest in the product, but they didn't have, I guess, the background in the company to actually keep up with the demand, right? So it was in retail stores for a while, but because it isn't just a supplement, so like when I thought it was just a supplement, it actually needs the story to be told. It needs the science behind it, right? So they got a marketing specialist in, and they suggested they look at direct sales because it's person to person and they can tell that story and really share the stories with people and let people know that this isn't just a supplement that you can buy off the shelf that does, you know, that tops up our body, right? So there was a really big story to be sold, and that's why they went into direct sales. They trialed it for 6 months, and actually there was huge increase in sales through the direct sales rather than retail. So that's why they've gone down this road of direct sales, right? Okay, so this is really interesting, and this is one of my favorite parts. If you have a look here, so who has heard of oxidative stress, right? And who hasn't? Oxidative stress is actually what happens to our body on a cellular level when it's exposed to a lot of free radicals, right? So free radicals are the byproduct of different metabolism and things in our body. And also as a result of all of those hijacking things that are going on in our environment, and the food we eat, all of these things, right? They all have an effect directly on the cells of our body. So as you can see here, like an apple left on the bench, it will go rotten, right? So it's aging. That's what oxidative stress is, aging and inflammation. And so you can see here on a cellular level how that's so damaging for our cells. And our cells make up our organs, which make up our systems. So you can imagine if our cells aren't functioning well, then our organs and our systems aren't functioning well, okay? So like I touched on before, oxidative stress, just about everything we do results in oxidation, right? So that's inflammation that causes these damaging free radicals. And free radicals are like a pinball machine, right? They fly around and they bump into our cells, causing all of this inflammation. So in modern society, there is so many things that affect our body on a cellular level that you might not even realize. So the food that we eat, herbicides, pesticides, the environment is a big one. So like Wi-Fi, things like that I mentioned before, microwaves, cell phones, the creams and things that we use on our skin, right? So our skin is our biggest organ. It absorbs a lot of what goes into it. And so when we're putting a lot of chemicals in our skin, that's actually going into our body. So think of your shampoo, your face creams, all of those things. This guy down here, he's exercising. So actually we can get stress in physical ways, and one of those, like I said, is sedentary, but this is actually also for people who exercise a lot. And stress is a big one, and that's what I deal with a lot with people in my business, is actually reducing the negative impacts of stress. But our thoughts and our finances and all of these things actually play a big part in that. So as you can see, we can't get away from oxidative stress, right? If anything, you know, there's so much more oxidative stress in our lives now that our body just cannot cope with. We just don't have the ability to cope with this level of stress. And we didn't used to have this in our body, right? So the reason why it's so important to reduce oxidative stress, like have a look at all of these different systems, right? Our brain, so our neurological system linked to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS, depression, all of these things, not just our neurological system, but all of our systems, right? So our cardiovascular system, our endocrine system, all of these things are affected by oxidative stress because, like I said, our cells make up all of these systems, right? So you might be noticing fatigue, reduced concentration. So that was me. Oxidative stress like affecting my brain and how I actually function. So that brain fog, changes in skin, loss of moisture, narrowing of arteries. So there's lots and lots of studies for cardiovascular health and how there's huge benefits of this in cardiovascular health. Decreased nutrient absorption, changes in microbiome, decreased immunity, increased cortisol, which is our stress hormone, muscle protein breakdown. So you're getting a lot more poorer recovery from exercise, things like that. Okay, so it has a huge impact on the body. All right, so this is where I talked about, you know, in my role as a physio, we have this further down here where you can see like where they normally would treat with drugs. When the quality of life is reducing, this is where we're trying to manage these chronic conditions. But if we can tackle it much earlier on, you know, and you see here where it's between 20 and 40, if we can tackle the levels of free radicals and the damage to our cells right back here, we can be proactive, right? We get increased lifespan, and that's actually proven by activating NRF2 with protandim. It actually increases your lifespan. So this is the balance, right? So this is where we talk about oxidative stress. So basically, oxidative stress is an imbalance in our body. It's an imbalance in our system where we have a lot more free radicals than we can deal with. And you've probably heard of antioxidants, right? Antioxidants are what neutralize the free radicals that damage our body. So what we want to do is to increase the antioxidant protection in our body and to reduce the amount of free radicals that are in our body, okay? And we can actually do that naturally, so it's really exciting. And this is how we do it, right? So this is Protandim. This is Protandim NRF2. And what this does is it's actually proven to lower that oxidative stress level by an average of 40% in 30 days. And there's no other product on the market that can show that. There is no other product that has this proof that it can actually lower oxidative stress by that much, and being a natural product. So it actually supports the natural cellular repair process. And like I said to you before, there was a study done by the National Institute of Aging, and it was a 10-year study. And what they showed was it actually increased lifespan by 7%. And again, no other supplement does that. So this Protandim NRF2 is also really important because, like I said before, it's not a supplement. What this does, we call it a synergizer because there's 5 natural ingredients that work together in the amounts that they are in this tablet, specifically to give you this reduction in oxidative stress. So let me just shift this for a second. So the 5 ingredients are turmeric. Oh, where are we? Turmeric. Why is this doing this? Sorry, I'm just trying to move my cursor here. All right, so you've got turmeric, green tea, bacopa, ashwagandha, and milk thistle. So these are the 5 natural ingredients that work together in this specific synergy to actually reduce the oxidative stress in your body, right? So we've all heard of antioxidants and taking antioxidants, but what this does, this is different because it's not taking antioxidants through our food, right? This is getting our body to make its own antioxidants, and that's where the power of Protandim lies, right? It's actually getting your body to make its own natural antioxidants. So it can neutralize a lot more free radicals than anything that you can take, like blueberries, oranges, etc., right? And we have so many free radicals damaging our body on a daily basis. So this was something I didn't realize either. So this is glutathione. This is actually our body's master antioxidant. So it's our first line of defense in our immune system. Glutathione is something that you can't take. You can't take a glutathione supplement. Your body actually has to make its own. So this is one of the things that's really independent and why Protandim is category creating, right? So the benefits of glutathione, and if you look up the side effects of low glutathione, I'm sure you'll be really, really interested to see that you probably feel some of those things, right? So the benefits are increased energy. It slows down the aging process, and that's because it neutralizes those free radicals. Reduction in muscle and joint discomfort. Strengthens our immune system. Like I said, it's the first line of defense in our immune system. Improve mental focus and clarity. Improve quality of sleep. Reduce the effects of stress, so those negative effects of stress on our body, which is caused by those free radicals. And it improves athletic performance and recovery. So why this is important is because the other thing that was proven with Protandim NRF2 is that it increases your glutathione naturally by 300%. So the natural health world are really blown away by that statistic because they know how important glutathione is in our body. All right, so what does the medical world say? If you were to go to PubMed, which is the National Library of Medicine, this is where we go to look for published research papers, peer-reviewed research papers. This is where the surgeons go, the doctors go, all of the medical people go to find credible, validated studies. And there isn't many other natural supplements that you will find in this National Library of Medicine, but you can go to PubMed and you can type in Protandim and you will see there are several studies done on Protandim. So not just on NRF2, but actually on Protandim. And oxidative stress, because it is linked to over 250 disease states, is actually, there is so much research, like there's just about new studies coming out every week. So if you were to go and have a look at oxidative stress, and you can even type in oxidative stress in like a certain condition, right? Alzheimer's, whatever it is. Have a look up on PubMed and you'll see studies linking oxidative stress to all of these different disease states, right? Okay, so it's patented in the US. This BSCG is actually so it's certified drug-free. So for athletes and people who use it, it's safe and it's NSF certified. So have a look here. This is all of the different like universities. When they showed that ABC Investigative News report, a lot of independent universities and big research centres actually wanted to study Protandim themselves. So Ohio State has a big cardiac study, and there's a lot of other, like I said, research that you can look up, and it's really credible, right? So we're very, very lucky to have all of this research because, like I said, a lot of other supplements don't have this kind of validation. All right, so there's a few other products that NRF2 Synergizer is the flagship product, but in New Zealand we are lucky to have access to the other products that are in the States, right? So this is the Protandim NRF1 Synergizer. So this is like the sister of the Protandim NRF2. This actually works on the mitochondria of our cell. Now, the mitochondria is actually the energy network of our cell. And there is actually a lot of research happening now as well into mitochondrial dysfunction and how that is linked to different disease states, right? So they work really well together. And like I said, it improves the performance of energy production, so the energy maker of the cell. Won't go into ATP, but again, it's a synergizer, so it gets your body to do what it needs to do by activating this NRF1 pathway in your body as opposed to NRF2. All right. One of the other products that there are, many people now are realizing the importance of a healthy microbiome, so our gut health. So this is the probiotic that is created by LifeVantage, and it's important to realize that this has special technology that actually helps the probiotics to get down into your digestive tract where they're needed, right? So if you look here, it's got the special BioTrack technology, and it means that 60% of the probiotics survive and get down into where they're needed the most. And other probiotics who don't have this BioTrack technology, you lose 96% before it actually gets to where it needs to go. All right. Omegas. Lots of people know the importance of omegas for cardiac health, skin health, etc. And one of the biggest things with this is that it doesn't have the fishy taste for a start, but it also is 100% traceable from boat to bottle. So they're really good quality. The LifeVantage is very, very particular about what they put into the market, and it has to be very, very good quality. So this is important. These products together are important because it makes up what's called a vitality stack. And very exciting for LifeVantage is that this vitality stack has actually just received a bronze Stevie Award in the Business Awards. So it's getting a lot of media attention because of how all of these things work together, right? So it reduces your oxidative stress, boosts your mitochondrial production, which I said is the energy factory of your cell, how you're feeling personally. So it improves your energy levels. It supports a healthy microbiome, supports immune function, healthy brain function, and heart health. So this is where we talk about biohacking your body. This is giving your body what it needs to really function well, okay? So we're lucky enough that we can actually get that vitality stack here in New Zealand. One of the other things I wanted to touch on was Axio, because this is a drink that has really helped me. Actually, I have this every day, especially since I've been a little bit lower in energy being pregnant and using all of my energy, to create another human. So Axio is what they call smart energy. So it's an energy drink without all of the side effects and I want to say rubbish that's in a lot of the other energy drinks. So it improves mental endurance. So it improves those neural connections in your brain, enhances neurotransmitter function, which is specifically our brain's resilience to stress. So you can see how important this is. This is very popular in families with children who have autism, because it does improve those neural connections in the brain. And there's lots of different options for our Axio Smart Energy. The other thing we have here is True Science Beauty System. And the reason why this is so important is because Protandim was actually studied by the Skin Cancer Foundation. And what they found was that it actually reduces the risk of melanomas. And they suggested to the company that they actually make something that also works from the outside in. So this True Science Beauty System actually has the NRF2 activation in the skincare, right? And so we know that we're putting something on our skin that doesn't have all of those nasty toxic chemicals. And also it's highly anti-aging, right? So you see here, it mitigates visible effects of skin damage caused by oxidative stress, because that's what oxidative stress is. It's aging of our cells. Okay, so you can see the lady down the bottom here, after 60 days, how it's reduced those fine lines and how her skin looks a lot clearer. And see here, it says it counterbalances the visible negative effects of sun-related damage, which is really important for us here in New Zealand and in Australia. So here's some other signs. You'll see this guy here, he only used it on one side of his face. Personally, not something I would do, but very grateful for him to have done that and showing us the effects that it can have on one side of your face. And you can clearly see the benefits for this lady here too. So it's the world's only patented NRF2 skincare on the market. And for pet lovers, because we can get this from the States, lots of people use it for their animals and see huge benefits in, say, dogs with arthritis and things like that. And horses, people use it for their horses a lot as well. So this is something that's available, but also like in Australia, they actually just give the NRF2 that we would take. All right, so I'm going to give you a chance to ask some questions in just a moment, but for those of you who want to jump off, how to get started, I'm just going to run through how you can actually get started on some of these products and really start optimizing health of your body and being proactive about what you're doing with your body and with your cells, right? So you can choose your level of biohacking. These prices on the site for New Zealand are all US dollars, right? So that's really important to know. So you can get the products individually, or like I said, you can actually get this Vitality Stack, which is the one that just got the business awards, and it gives you that all-around picture, you know, with the probiotics, the omegas, and the NRF1 and NRF2. So we usually recommend that our customers go on a subscription, right? Because you get no fees to join, no fees to cancel a subscription, all of those things. It literally just means that you get 20% cheaper, plus you get loyalty points, referral program points, and you can earn free product. So it's completely flexible. There's no strings attached or anything like that. You can actually go on anytime you like and add or take away from your order. So if you love what you've seen, but you've got some more research to do or ask questions, that's awesome. If you want to get started on the products, let us know. The person who invited you can help you. And what often happens is that so many people think of other people in their lives that could really benefit from something like this. I mean, there's so many health issues going around, unfortunately, because of this high oxidative stress in the environment that we're in now. If you can think of others who might benefit from this, you can always chat to whoever invited you about the business side of this as well. All right, Bridget, are you there?
Hi, I'm here. Thank you so much, Tori. That was amazing and so informative. Is there anyone online that has any questions that they would like to ask? No? Okay. So yes, as Tori said, if you've got any questions or you want to get started, get back to the person that invited you to this webinar. Otherwise, thank you very, very much for hopping online, and good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks, Tori.